On this episode of Samp&Chance, we are going to take a look at the continuing road to WrestleMania, AEW, after Revolution, and all the stuff that's happening around in the world of professional wrestling. So, guys and gals, strap in and thank you for letting us into your ears. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance Wrestling. I am your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Mr. Michaels, how are you on this glorious Tuesday afternoon?
I'm
Or
doing
morning?
good. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. Yeah, here we are. Clocks are ahead. I think everyone's adjusted. I hope we really get rid of that. This is the real time. I get time change, but it just doesn't make sense to me anymore, man. It just doesn't make any sense. Your
Yeah,
thought?
they're probably I don't see them getting rid of it, but it's all good.
Yeah, it's a stupid thing, man, entirely. It makes no sense at all. I mean, I can understand it back in the day for the farmers. Even then, it didn't make sense to me. But hey, I'm not a farmer, so what do I know? Um, AEW, man, let's talk about that first. Let's AEW Dynamite, the first show after Revolution. The Revolution numbers did pretty well. I mean, not great or anything, but one of their better shows that they've had, um, considering. But yeah, Dynamite, man. I mean, new storylines. Now, I guess the question I have, and I don't have the answer, and I'm going to look it up. I'm not sure if you do. What pay-per-view is their WrestleMania? Is it all out or all in or Revolution?
I
I
don't
don't
think they
think
really
it's
have a
Revolution.
standout one. I think they got a few big ones, but I don't think they really have a WrestleMania, so to
Do
speak.
they do? They consider one show their big show of the year. I know that. I just can't remember which one it is. I think it's one of the all ins or all outs. Um,
Maybe, but they don't. It doesn't have a WrestleMania feel to it, though. That's what they're going for. It doesn't definitely. It's not working.
well, I mean, I'm not sure if they're going for that kind of same feel or not. I just that's their kind of coup de grace, kind of big show of the year sort of a deal. But anyways, Dynamite we basically get Wardlow and Samoa Joe this week. They're not wasting any time in getting that match going. Interesting. I thought they'd kind of do a bit of a build with it. I mean, Samoa Joe is getting attacked from all different angles. So many guys want a shot at that title, but they're going with the Wardlow one right away. Um, Not knowing what the other storylines are or who's going to be involved and stuff, I kind of think maybe they could have built this up a little bit better. You?
No, why not? Samoa Joe's in his mid-40s. Like I said before, when Wardlow gave that promo, gave that yelling and screaming promo, I knew he was going to win that 8-man match. It's just obvious. He's big, he's strong, he's young. They're giving him a push. Sometimes it's a ADHD generation. We don't have time, or people don't have the patience to do these big storylines anymore. So if you got two big guys that want to go at it, just let them go at it. So I actually like what Tony Khan's doing with this. He's finally pushing a big guy, and see what happens. But yeah, last week's Dynamite was solid. It was good. They're definitely improving, man. I don't know if they're feeling the momentum with all the Vince stuff. They're raising their game up and trying to snatch an opportunity or what they're doing, but their shows are getting a little bit better at times. There's still the silly moments, but I'm a lot more impressed each time I watch it. There's some silly stuff though, but it's getting better.
Fair
They're
enough.
trying.
I don't see it getting better. I see it looking the same, in my opinion. But then we keep watching and
When I
hoping
when
we'll
I
see
when I
some.
watched Raw last night and then I watched Dynamite, I see a lot of the similarities here. That a lot of WWE is similar to AEW. So I don't know who's copying who. To me, it seems like some of the guys in creative are watching AEW and trying to do the little guys flipping around and flying around like the Pete Dunnes, JD McDonough. These are AEW guys, they're AEW style. I see a lot of that trickling over into WWE now. And I don't know if that's just the way they think that the fans want it, but there's so much similarities. Now, obviously, WWE is a better roster. They got better guys to play with. They're the all-star team. So much similarities if you watch some of these, JD and Dominic guys out there. If you took the label off, you couldn't tell if that's AEW, WWE because they're wrestling the same way.
No, I disagree with that, man. I don't see it that way. I just think production wise, AEW or
Yeah, I'm just talking in the ring though. But if
but
you
in the
watch them
ring,
in the ring and blur out the lines, JD McDonough and Pete Dunne could easily fit on the AEW roster, and you wouldn't know any
possibly,
different.
but they are by far better than most of the guys on that roster, still, in my opinion, right?
I don't think
So
so at all. You got
I
Will
do.
Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, Daniel. They're all better than Pete Dunne and JD McDonough.
No, but I get that. But I mean, each roster is going to have better, some better
Yeah, I know.
guys
So
than
what I'm
other
saying
guys. But
is
overall,
AEW is catching up. If you actually just, but obviously WWE's got better production, better cameras. better talent, of course. They have a better roster. But if you watch some of these matches, they're so similar now. Where before, a couple years ago, you would say that's completely different stuff. AEW is completely different than WWE and vice versa. Now they're kind of coming like this a lot with the little guys flipping and flying around. The
Well, I
WWE
tell you
starting
what,
to take that over too now.
I'll take a
So,
look at it. I don't see it that way, but fair enough, right? Like, I mean, maybe I'm not seeing something you're seeing. So, it's just a question of just kind of getting into
well,
it.
let's look at the little guys. Look at all the little guys in WWE and AEW. So they wrestle the same.
Well,
They
I
have
mean,
their Romans and Rocks that obviously AEW can't match, but AEW's, they're very similar in a lot of ways. Different in some, but similar in a lot of ways. So we'll see. Maybe that's what WWE Creative wants. Maybe they're going for that more the IWC, the Cody Rhodes kind of people, and trying to appeal to that base more. That could be intentionally done too. I don't know.
well, let's see. Let's see. I mean, we keep watching. We keep watching. The one thing I did enjoy was the Young Bucks coming out, firing Kenny Omega, which is kind of interesting. Bringing out Okada, which WWE really wanted for the longest time, but I'm glad they didn't get him because the Okada that we're seeing today is on the back nine of his career. He's not the same guy who was fighting Kenny Omega, in 2011, 2012 sort of a deal. So, I'm okay with that signing. But I like what they're doing here by firing Kenny Omega. They bring in Okada. I like that because now you get that storyline built in from their New Japan days and what have you. I think still the most disappointing part of AEW is the crowd. I wish they would work on that, trying to put some incentive to get that stadium filled up a little bit more. I mean, you don't see it on TV, but you see a lot of the fans, posting photographs and stuff. And it's pretty dismal, right? Especially considering what you're saying and stuff. So I really hope they can work on getting
Plus,
more
their
of the
TV money, they
crowd in.
actually made more money last year than the year before because all their TV contracts. They actually made a profit last year. Even though their crowd size aren't as big as WWE, they actually make a profit because the TV contracts are so
Yeah,
lucrative.
no, and that works in their favor. They're lucky, right? I mean, being owners of other sports properties and stuff allow them to have that access. If Takans didn't have that access, I don't know where AEW would be, to be fair, right? The TV
Yep.
deals are huge.
They can say the same about Vince McMahon, WWE, nothing without his business acumen either, right? So it's a two-way street there, right? They're both geniuses, Sadiq Khan and Vince McMahon. They built without these two guys, these companies aren't even would they be in bingo halls,
Well, no,
So
to be fair, I don't think Rashid Khan would even be entering into this part of the thing. It's his son, right?
yeah, it's a son.
So
Yeah, he's giving his son money, but they're not doing bad. I mean, I see a lot of similarities, a lot of differences, so they're on the right track. And that Will Ospreay Kyle Fletcher match was pretty good. That Kyle Fletcher's he's young up and coming. He's young
yeah,
up and coming. He doesn't have much character, charisma, but he could flip and flop around pretty good.
yeah, no,
I
well,
think that was the best match of Dynamite by far.
yeah, no, it was a really good match. I really enjoyed that. They keep building up with Christian and Edge here, so something has to give here at some point.
Both
Um,
those guys need to call it a night now. Same with Jericho. They're getting a little bit long in the tooth. They're slow. They can barely move. It's time for
yeah,
them.
a lot of people online I saw were making comments about Jericho's physique. It's just like he just looks horrible and whatnot. I mean, you know what? It's easy.
They got to take it in context. Yes, for a 30 or 40-year-old man, but he's 53. So he's in better shape than most 53-year-old men are, right? Most 53-year-old men can't even move.
Yeah.
So if you take it in a context, yes, but Jericho's never been a huge body guy. Like he's been in decent shape. He's never was a muscle guy. So he's got a little bit of flab, but for 53, I mean, what do you expect?
Well, I
Sting wears
mean,
a shirt. There's a reason why Sting wears a shirt.
it's easy to complain and criticize people from sitting in your armchair or whatnot. Like these guys are still out there doing it, so you got to respect them for that.
Well, not even that. He's just that he just can't do it anymore. Like I don't even care about his body.
Yeah, but how can some fat dude sitting at a keyboard complain about his body when he's not doing anything to make himself better? That's all.
I guess people look at it like we're paying money to go to the pay-per-views, to fly our kids there, and you show up looking like that. You're not taking it serious, but yet you're taking our hard-earned money. That's what I've always said about some of these guys. You look at a Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn, they don't train their body, they're not taking their craft seriously. So how can we spend $200 to watch these guys?
I get it. But you know what? We still are spending our money and we're still going knowing what these guys look like. So I mean, if you don't,
Some of them, not all of them, though.
No. But what I'm saying is, just to say, talk to that point, right? Like, I mean, it's just like then don't go. right? Like if you're going to
Yeah, but
criticize,
that's the case, and the place will be empty and wrestling will shut down. You need people to go. That's the thing I like about wrestling. These guys are very sensitive. But if you're going to be a wrestler, you're going to get booed. You're going to get online hate. That comes with the territory. But they're so rich, you have to suck it up, and that's part of
yeah,
the
yeah, I
territory,
get
right?
it, I get it, I get it. All right, brother man. WWE, the road to WrestleMania. We are less than a month away now. We're in what 24 days, 25 days away from WrestleMania. Card is shaping up, man. They put a lot of pieces in play last night. But going back to the smack heard around the world, your thoughts on that, man? What do you think?
That was a decent segment. I mean, Rock obviously outshined them all. Um, I'm glad that what he's saying about Seth, he looks like a walking clown show. Now, Roman Reigns is getting a lot of hate for calling Seth a crossdresser, right? Essentially, that's what Seth is doing, you know. But he got a lot of hate for that, for him saying that. A lot of people were offended. Didn't bother me because that's what Seth looks like, you know,
No,
to the
you know what?
average guy.
There's a difference between a cross-dresser and being a transgender. All
No, I
right,
know, but just
no,
using
no,
that
no.
word
I
though.
get it. I get it.
But he
But
got a lot of online hate. Cancel Roman was trending.
yeah, you know what?
Um,
I disagree with that completely. I like you. I see no
but this is
problem
the
with it.
thing. This is the market they're playing to. When you play to the Cody crybabies, you can't say anything because they're going to attack you. So I thought it was a good segment. Obviously,
Yeah.
Rock is bigger, better, stronger than everybody in the ring. He talks to everybody. Seth looked completely ridiculous. He is a walking clown show. He looks, I don't know. Yeah, he just looks. You can't even take this guy. His stick is wearing fins. I hope Drew takes him and then he takes a little bit of time off because like it's a very obnoxious and annoying guy. I used to be one of my favorites, but I can't stand the guy anymore. But yeah, I thought it was a good segment. The Rock's out there, he's talking smack, and it was good. Cody slapped him, and it's good little segment. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I thought it was really fun. I mean, just that comment at the end, like I like what The Rock is doing, and if they're ushering a new kind of era and a new way of
They're not. They
showing.
won't be able to, dude. They're already
Well,
getting hate for this. The
no,
new way
no,
of
but
fans won't allow it.
you know what? Netflix deals, this and that, all doors are open, right? I mean, if people are gonna, it's a small segment of the population that's complaining about what Roman said, right?
But no, it's the Cody crybabies. They're the ones who changed the WrestleMania card, and they're not going to allow any of this stuff. So they even if they want to do Attitude Era, they can't because the fans won't allow them anymore.
Honestly, dude, I
Just
think
off.
when these complaints are coming in about Roman Reigns, it's not just the Cody crybabies, it's those stupid woke people
Is
that
that too?
right.
But
So
that's what
what am I
Cody
gonna say?
fans are, though. They
Yeah,
are
yeah,
the woke.
fair enough, man. But you know what? This is wrestling, like you say. People are gonna say stuff. I think
But
the biggest thing
but
people have to understand is there's a huge difference between being a cross dresser. Like RuPaul, that guy's a cross dresser, but he still knows he's a man, right? Like it's
But the
people.
thing is the thing is though, for most people aren't offended by that. But the casual fans aren't watching wrestling anymore. So it's the hardcore guys in their basement, the basement dwelling geeks sitting there. Oh my God, he said this. We're gonna go online and start trending. And that's why you can never get the Attitude Era back. Even if they wanted to, the fans won't allow it anymore. It's a
You know,
small minority that are the most vocal.
well, I mean, how much
And they
backlash?
changed WrestleMania, so they got the they all got
How
all the power in the world, right?
how much backlash did The Rock get for calling all the people at Phoenix crackheads? Right?
That's
I mean,
different though.
but how's that different? You're.
You can't make because it's a gender joke. They don't allow gender jokes or race jokes anymore.
I think I
Crackhead
think
jokes is fine,
I think
but
drug
gender.
epidemics are much more important than cross dressing or
But
transgender
it
issues.
doesn't matter though. The people that do crack aren't offended by that. It's the people that you know the Cody crybabies and the people that get offended by words. They're the ones who care about you calling you a cross dresser, calling you.
Yeah, yeah,
You
I get it. I get it. I mean,
and they
I'm just
run
trying to.
wrestling. They changed the main event. They got the power, man.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, right? But I kind of disagree with all that kind of criticism.
I
It's
do
just a
too. I think
comment.
it's ridiculous. But
It's stupid.
this is why the casuals don't watch wrestling anymore because of this kind of crap. But it was a
Well,
good segment overall. I thought it
yeah,
wasn't bad.
yeah, yeah. So we know now, like WrestleMania is shaping up pretty nicely. So both title fights are set. They're both going to happen on a Sunday. I think they'll bookend each other. If I'm booking it, I think you're going to see Drew and Seth open night two with Rock or Cody and what's his face, Roman on night two as well, but the main event.
Could be.
So we know now both women titles are going to be defended. We got Rhea Ripley against Becky. We got Io against oh, what's that? We got Io against pardon me. We got Io against Bailey. So those two matches are set. Now we know the Judgment Day is going to go into a 6-man ladder match. Is a ladder match, right?
Yep. That's what
Yeah.
they're saying.
So that's going to be kind of an interesting. I guess with 2 nights, that's the one beauty. Everyone can get a spot almost. right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's good and bad. Not everybody deserves a spot in WrestleMania, though. WrestleMania is supposed to be for the elite of your company. This
I
is the
get it.
showcase of the immortals, and then you're letting a bunch of
Well, what are you going to
people
do
that
for
might
two
not
nights
be on the
though?
card.
Well, but
Hmm?
that's why they're making it two nights to get everyone a shot. If it was only one night, half these matches wouldn't be there,
Well,
right?
that's not why they made 2 nights WrestleMania. They made 2 nights WrestleMania
No,
for the
I get
money.
that as well. So if they're going to have to, they have to fill that roster out. They
Yeah,
have
but
to
you could.
fill those
I
cards
don't know.
out.
We don't need 2 nights of 4 hours, right? Make them three. That's 8 hours on a weekend. Like, who can do that?
I
A
think last
lot.
year they stayed under 3.
I hope so. I can't remember, but I hope.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah. They were finished by 8:30 latest, right? They started at 5 and it went till 8:30, I believe. Well, here on the West Coast.
That's not bad then.
Yeah. No. So I mean, like last year they had the 2 showcase matches, right? Like they didn't need those matches. Those are not matches necessarily necessary for WrestleMania, but because you got the 2 days, yes, they want to make the money. Yes,
Oh,
they
for
want
sure.
to, so they have to kind of fill it up. So yeah, I guess the question remains now. So we know pretty much Logan Paul is going to go up against Randy Orton. It hasn't been announced, probably this weekend. So that should be interesting. Here's an interesting factor going into that match. Now, do you think that he would lose to Randy Orton at WrestleMania?
Uh, it doesn't. To be
Considering,
honest with you, man, it doesn't really matter who wins this match. Both these guys are stars. If Randy loses, it doesn't matter. Logan loses, doesn't really matter. As long as they put on a great match here,
yeah,
it doesn't really matter how they do it. I
the only
can't.
reason I'm asking,
50.
the only reason I'm asking this question is because we know now that SummerSlam is going to be held in Cleveland, home of Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want him to go in as champion, or do you take the title off him and have a new program for him or something? Because that's going to be big for him, right? That's his hometown.
Yeah, it's hard to say, man. I think it's 50-50, honestly. You could win this one. They're both such. I mean, obviously, Logan's a global star. Orton's not quite as well known as Logan, but this can go either way. It's going to be a heck of a match. And congratulations, Logan Paul. Prime is you on the UFC cage, and now Prime is going to be on the ring in WWE. So
you don't have a problem with that?
Man, I love it. This is the thing. This is Ari Emanuel's in charge now. This is what he does for UFC. If this was Vinnie Mac, he likes the. I like what Vinnie likes. I like the ring clean. I like it crisp. But it's Ari's show. Ari wants the Prime thing in the middle. He's trying to they're going to put sponsors everywhere. They're trying to make it like the UFC in terms of Prime drink, Bud Light.
I find that interesting. I thought you'd be against it, considering you're such a Vince guy and the way he thinks and the way he likes to do things.
I wouldn't. No, I'm not. I
traditionalist.
wouldn't do it personally.
Yeah,
I would say no. But I'm happy that it's going to be Logan Paul if anybody's going to get it, because it's Ari's company now. He paid for it.
Yeah.
Vince is no longer here, but if Vince is here over his dead body, that would never happen.
Yeah. Well, it's a time of the signs, right? Like, I mean, you.
I would rather it not happen. I think the ring looks better when it's crisp and clean.
Yeah.
But Ari, I guess, is saying, "Hey, that's what we're going to do, and that's what's going to happen." So I'm happy it's Logan. If anybody gets it, he deserves it. Man, this guy's a brilliant, brilliant businessman and a heck of an athlete.
Yeah. Well, fair play.
But all the IWC guys, they get so pissed off when they see him, but nobody can deny his success and athleticism. That's what I love about Logan Paul is the IWC hates him, and that makes me like him even more.
Fair enough, man. All right, so Gunther against Sami Zayn. We know that's official now for WrestleMania as well.
Why? I watched that last night. We all knew Sami was going to win. Why do that kind of match? You know Sami's winning. You know he's going to Mania. Like, it's just, I don't understand why you'd pick Sami of all the guys that could go against him. I even think Chad Gable could give him a better match. I know Sami's a better character, but as far as matching up with Gunther, I don't know what kind of chemistry and how this is going to be. I just didn't. I don't like that booking. I think that's one of the weaker matches. Maybe turn out to be the best match. We don't know. But
personally,
I don't like it on paper.
Said, we don't know because Gunther's that good, right? And Sami is that good. They can put something together really nice. But I will agree with you. I was hoping Chad would.
Yeah, he could really go, man.
Well, but he can go, but the story's kind of built in there, right? Like that's a WrestleMania moment. Already built
and
in.
why not you have the young guy, Chad? I don't think he's much younger than Sami age-wise, but wrestling-wise, why not give the young guy a chance? We've seen Sami out there all the time. And Sami's a good talent, but like let somebody else take the ball and see what he can do. Because I can guarantee you, Chad can go 1,000 times harder than Sami could ever go. And I think Chad and Gunther could have made some magic together.
Well, I mean, their match that they had on Raw was amazing.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, the story is already built in. It's a redemption story. His daughter.
I think you know what's hurting Chad Gable? He's a poor man's Kurt Angle. You know what I mean? He wears the same outfit. He does an ankle lock. He throws the straps off. It's kind of already been done with Kurt Angle, so I think that's hurting him a little bit. Maybe he needs
Yeah,
to
I get it, but
change it
that
up a
whole
bit.
taking the strap thing off is even before Kurt Angle. Like, I mean, Big
Yeah, but
Show
Kurt made
used
it
to do it.
famous though.
No, I get it, but Braun Breaker does it. I mean, I know what you're
Yeah,
saying,
but
right?
Kurt, he's wearing Kurt's outfit. He's wearing the ankle lock. Everything Kurt did, he's doing.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it quite as good as Kurt. He doesn't have that character, but he's still good. So I think that's hurting him a bit. He needs to find something separate.
I think where he came from, where he started, where his trajectory, was going. This guy's come up pretty good, man. I really am impressed by where he came from Shorty Gable all the way up. Like, if you think about
Cody
it,
G, yeah.
Shorty G and whatnot like that. So I'm just at that point you're thinking, okay, how long has this guy got left on the roster? How long before they release him? And I mean, he's held himself really well. I'm really happy with him.
He's a good worker.
I personally feel that should have been the match to make. But
Me
that
too.
being said, let's see what they do with the match. I mean, it is WrestleMania. I don't want to get too heavily, critical about it. Let's see what plays out here, right? Anything can change. I mean, he could get angry. They could add him in as a triple threat. I don't know. I mean, anything is possible.
I still don't think it's going to be Logan and Orton. I think it's going to be Logan and Grayson versus Orton and Owens in a tag match because they want to get Owens on the card, right? So I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a fair call, man. That's a fair call because right now, if you think about it, there are still a lot of big names without a path. I mean, one that kind of stands out to me is Bianca. I know, considering what she was doing the last 2, 3 WrestleManias, she's just there now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's kind of in that purgatory where they don't have a program for her and whatnot. Like, I mean, walking out with the dance troupe at WrestleMania last year to she's kind of like where Montez was last year. I think Montez is going to get into WrestleMania this year with that tag team ladder match.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they're going to win or not, but you almost see that, okay, finally Montez is going to get in. But Bianca this year, I really don't see where they're going with her, where she even fits in. Like, there's just
maybe she's pissing some people off, some of the agents off backstage. There's so much backstage stuff that we don't know about. You rub somebody the wrong way, you give them a little bit of attitude. Next thing you know, you're not quite in their good books anymore. I'm not saying that's the case here.
No, I don't think that's the case at all. I know what you're saying, but with her, I don't think it is. I just think it's the injuries and not being there and having the other girls kind of step up and fit into storylines. So, I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it. But hey, the Hall of Fame is starting to fill up. Paul Heyman's in now. Your thoughts on that? You happy?
He deserves it, but I'm still under the mindset of you shouldn't be until you retire, but he does deserve it.
Bull Nakano.
Yeah, I guess, but the thing is for me is WWE, like I know it's not a real sport. I get all that. So keep it in context. But if you look at the NHL, NFL, MLB Hall of Fames, that's supposed to be, as Vince would say, the showcase for the immortals.
Yeah.
But WWE, they're just throwing random people in now just to fill it up to make it an event. It's not that a lot of guys in the shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And they're just making it like, okay, here's Bull Nakano, here's Muhammad Ali, here's Paul Heyman, like
but I mean UFC
doesn't IRS.
UFC doesn't have a physical. Pardon?
IRS is a Hall of Famer now?
Well, he was before already, but now he's going in with the American Express with Barry Windham, right? So, I mean, and they were on the original WrestleMania. I get it. I know what you're saying.
That's grasping at straws, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, fair play, man.
IRS deserves to be in the Hall of Fame twice. There's just no way. I love Barry Windham. He's one of my favorites as a kid.
But UFC doesn't have a physical Hall of Fame either, though. Do they?
I don't know. Actually, it's a good question. I don't. That's a good question.
They keep putting people into the Hall of Fame. They don't. I mean, they're real fighters. Don't get me wrong, but they are very similar to that as well, where they still have guys on the roster that are in the Hall of Fame.
The problem with this Hall of Fame is it might be the weakest Hall of Fame class yet. I understand Muhammad Ali is an amazing boxer, right? But he's not alive anymore. It's nice to put him in that celebrity wing. I get that. Put him in there. Okay, fine. You got Snoop Dogg in there. Got Donald Trump. Celebrity wing. So put him aside. You got Barry Windham, you got IRS and Bull Nakano and Paul Heyman. That's your Hall of Fame. That's pretty thin.
Well, I mean, some Hall of Fames are great shows, some are horrible, right? Like last year, Undertaker was good, but I mean, it is what it is.
If you're gonna put in IRS again, then put in Haku, put in Ming.
To be honest, I'm not.
Why not?
Did they put? Why aren't they not putting Bray Wyatt in? If that's the case, like, I mean. You know what I mean? Think about it. I would
get his dad to introduce and induct him.
Right? Like Bray should be going in this.
Bray did in 1 year what his dad 1,000 times more than his dad ever did. I hate to be harsh.
For sure. But I mean, they both wrestled at different times, so granted.
Still,
But
though,
what
his
I'm
dad
saying is,
Bray was a way bigger star, though.
yeah. But I think Bray should be in there this year. I mean, if anyone deserves it, like think about it. When Sean retired, they put him in the next year right away, right?
Mm.
When Edge had to retire, they put him in right away.
So why don't they put in Mike Tenay, one of the greatest wrestling commentators of all time? He's had a great run, WCW, TNA, all the other companies prior to that. He should be in.
Maybe
He's done way more than Bull Nakano's done. He knows who she is. I'm not trying to knock her. I'm happy she's getting it, but come on. We're grasping at straws here now.
Well, I mean, I guess we got to get some more older. All the main guys are in there, really, technically speaking.
Well,
I mean, the next wave. Well, I mean, Haku. Yeah, I understand that. I think
guys like that.
The Rock was trying to push for his grandfather, Peter Maivia, and grandmother to get in this year too, but that was shot down.
Well, now that he's got a seat in the board, they're going to be in there eventually.
Well, let's see what they do, right? So, all right, brother Matt. I tell you what, this was heated this week. I loved it. It was fun. It was a lot of fun here today.
I got to say one more thing about Raw before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
What again? Cody Rhodes in the ring crying again.
I was waiting for you to say.
Here's the thing, man. It's weak. It's pathetic. And I'm not sitting here saying grown men can't cry. The guy's crying every other week. And when people are flipping through the channels and the average guy watches that, the first thing they say, my uncle even said this to me the first time he cried, this guy's a wimp. Change the channel. Simple as that. That says it all right there. Cody does not relate to the average man, the average male. They can't stand this guy. Yes, I get it. Cody's for the sensitive male. There's nothing wrong with being sensitive and having your feelings. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when you're in a sport and you're going to fight The Rock and Roman, and you're going to fight Roman the next night, you're going to be the champ and be this champ, and here you are crying all the time. You can't even keep it together, and you cry every other week. It's pathetic. I have a hard time watching wrestling. It's becoming so sensitive, and I get it. If you win the belt, hang it up, hold it up, and cry like Shawn Michaels did, I get all that. That's fine. But to be crying every other week, come on, Cody. That's why he is the Cody Crybabies. He is the new millennial male where they cry, maybe, and they whine and complain till they get what they want.
Maybe, and let's go back to Raw here again very quickly. I was going to mention this. Thank you for reminding me. Maxine Dupree last night and Candice LeRae. Did you catch that?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So that was really interesting. So online, a lot of people were criticizing Maxine Dupree for her in-ring abilities and, really making fun of her and talking really bad about her. This is what I really hate about these kind of keyboard guys. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that they're wrong in some senses, but just the way they do it is just shitty, right? Like you're really, this kind of disrespectful. Again, these are people complaining about someone that they have no idea. They couldn't do anything. They can't even do a jumping jab, half these people. Let alone
but I think
tip of the rope.
When you watch some, I get what you're saying. You're right. But when you watch,
hold on. Just let me finish. Like you were saying, the comparison, like Cody crying all the time, I almost get the sense he's doing it just because of that Cody crybaby thing, like putting it as a part of the thing. The other thing is it's kind of like ties into what I was talking about Maxine Dupree and Candice LeRae last night, where Candice is using those comments and now they're making a story about it, making her insecure. I mean, saying, like they're really pushing the envelope. I'm glad your brother's dead so he doesn't have to see what you're doing. Sort of idea. Stuff like that, right? Like, Cody, you're a mistake. Sort of a deal. Like those are harsh comments.
Well,
right?
but Rock, you know what? It's harsh, but Rock said it's true. You're 20 years. Goldust is 20 years older than your dad had. You were an accident, and that sounds harsh, but it's reality. And I'm kind of glad Rock did that.
Okay, but him and his sister are only 3 years apart.
Him and his sister, but Goldust is 20.
No. But the way The Rock phrased it,
yeah.
Right, he's like all the other siblings were 20 years older than him, right?
Mm.
Whereas in actual reality, him and his sister are actually 3 years apart. Anyways, neither here or there. But I like the use, like they're taking that negative energy, the negative comments, and making a storyline out of this for her now. So that's kind of interesting. I just wanted to say that.
It's just hard to watch. Cody is going to walk out of WrestleMania with the championship. We all know that. He's finishing the story. He's going to cry in the ring. I don't think Cody's quite as popular as they think he is. Yes, he is popular with the hashtag crew and the Cody Crybabies. If he thinks he's going to catch fire and be this big megastar, he's not going to be. Because the average man is not going to relate to a guy crying all the time in the ring. He's getting laughed at. I hear it all the time.
It's an easy fix. You put the belt on him, he finishes the story. If it doesn't work out, you do it via Daniel O'Brien and you take it off him within a month or two.
That's when Vinny was in charge. They're not like that anymore. They're scared of the hashtags, dude. Cody's fans run wrestling right now. They got him in 2 main events.
Let's see. Let's see how it plays out, man. All right, brother, man. I tell you what, let's wrap this puppy up. This has been really fun. Thank you very much, Mr. Chance Michaels. Guys and gals, it is Tuesday. The whole week is still ahead of you. So please be safe. Take the right actions. Think about what you're going to do and don't speed. Wear your seatbelt. And yeah, that's it, man. I'm Bobby Sampson. He's Mr. Chance Michaels.
In the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. So, guys, until Thursday, Samp and Chance are out.